This poem is called Alternate Take for Levon Helm by Tracy K. Smith.
Mark Levon, also known as Levon Helm, was an American musician and actor who achieved fame as the drummer and regular lead vocalist for the band. Additionally, in music, an alternate take is a different version of the same song from a single recording session that is sometimes also eventually released.
I've been beating my head all day long on the same 6 lines, snapped off and whittled to nothing like the nub of a pencil, chewed up and smoothed over, yellow paint flecking my teeth.
And this whole time a hot wind's been swatting down my door, spat from his mouth and landing smack against my ear, all day pounding the devil out of 6 lines and coming up dry.
While he drives donuts through my mind's backwoods with that dirt road voice of his, kicking up gravel like a runaway Buick, he asks, should I come in with that backbeat and whatever those
6 lines were bothered by skitters off like water in hot grease. Come in, Levon, with your lips stretched tight and that pig-eyed grin, bass mallet socking it to the drum. Lay it down like you know.
You know how. Shoulders hiked nice and high, chin tipped back, so the song has to climb its way out like a man from a mine.
I think one thing that stood out in the first stanza of the poem is she has an audible quality to a lot of the verbs that she uses, such as beating, snapped, whittled, chewed, flecking. It kind of relates back to the theme of songwriting and sounds through her diction. Go.
So another interesting, literary device that she uses is the use of a simile in the second line. She says, snapped off and whittled to nothing like the nub of a pencil. And I think that sort of relates back to the theme of songwriting again, in that her mind and her ideas she's just beating them against her head. She's been thinking all day for a long period of time. But I guess nothing's coming to her really. She can't figure out a way to put her thoughts down on paper on these 6 lines that she keeps mentioning. So like a pencil gets worn down and becomes dull and unusable, her mind is slowly grown, less aware and being able to sense the things that she wants to put down on the paper.
So the S sounds in the second stanza with the words swatting, spat, smack, and 6 all create a lyrical sound throughout the poem, which relates back to the poem being about music and song, which also relates back to the overall theme of the poem.
The line, all day pounding the devil out of 6 lines and coming up dry, is similar to the simile in the second line of the poem that says whittled to nothing like the nub of a pencil, because it is the writer's idea that she's trying to get inspiration from Levon Helm, but she keeps coming up with nothing.
Tracy introduces a shift in the third stanza with the changing of thoughts from music to thoughts about a person, with the first line when she writes, while he drives donuts through my mind's backwoods. It creates an image of her thinking about him and her thoughts circling in the back of her mind.
Also, she brings a special focus to the lines, should I come in with that backbeat, by italicizing it. This almost question that Levon's asking her is kind of touching back to the title of the poem, in that he's questioning how they should alter this new take, should he bring in some new ad-lib to the music almost. More do the music on the fly without, previously knowing what he was doing and kind of, getting inspiration in the moment.
The use of the simile, like water and hot grease, relates back to the first stanza, in which Tracy's having difficulty with her writing of the 6 lines, and it overall represents the conflict. Also, the reference to a bass mallet socking it to the drum creates more musical diction that goes back to Levon Helm, who is a musician. Additionally, the transition between the last 2 stanzas, lay it down like you know how, repeats the words you know, emphasizing the role of Levon Helm and his knowledge of music. In the last stanza, the line, so the song has to climb its way out like a man from a mine, includes a simile, and it also shows personification, that the song takes on humanly qualities and has to struggle like a person would. Smith uses diction, lyrical rhythm, simile, and an overarching allusion to the musician Levon Helm to emphasize the ability of music to express human condition and emotion.